example 4i, our equation is e raised to the 3x power is equal to e raised to the 2 minus x power. Okay, so first you need to recognize this as an exponential equation. We are trying to figure out what value or values of x make this a true statement, and x, our variable, is located in the powers or exponents. Okay, so your first attempt at solving an exponential equation is to try to equate the bases. Okay, on the left side, e is our base. Okay, so remember, e is the number approximately 2.71. You're going to leave it as e. On the right side, okay, the base is also e. Okay, so the bases are already equal. Okay, so all you have to do, the only way a power of e can be equal to another power of e is if the powers are equal. So we're going to take the exponents and set them equal to each other. So we're going to get that 3x is equal to 2 minus x. Okay, we need to solve this for x. This is no longer exponential. The x is out of the power. Okay, if we scan this, the highest power of x is 1. So this is a linear equation, which means, the highest power of x is 1. We just need to isolate x to solve. Okay, so we're going to put all the x's on one side and then all the numbers on the other side. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and add x to both sides. I'm going to get 4x is equal to 2. Okay, now divide both sides by 4. Okay, x is 2/4, which reduces to 1/2, or you can put 0.5. Okay, that is it. Okay, you're done. Just because this equation probably looks intimidating to you because it has an e, it still works the same way as all the other bases do. Don't let e intimidate you. Treat it like you would any other number. Okay? All right, let's try example J. A little more complicated. Still base e. All right, so we've got e raised to the x squared is equal to e raised to the 3x power times 1 over e squared. Okay, so we've got 3 pieces. Okay, all of them have base e. Okay, again, leave e as e. Do not change it over to 2.71. Okay, all right. We need to make sure, well, everything obviously has an e in it. We're going to start right here with the fraction. Okay, it is not a power of e, it is a fraction. It's 1 over a power of e. Okay, we don't want it to be a fraction. We're going to get rid of the fraction. Okay, remember what you can do. You can move the e squared up to the other piece of the fraction, but you have to change the sign of the exponent. So it's going to become e to the -2. Okay, because remember, I'm going to go out to the side and remind you, if you have e to the -2, you can eliminate the negative exponent by doing 1 over the quantity by changing the sign of the exponent. So 1 over e squared is the same thing as e to the -2. Now it's e to a power. Okay, so that's our first step here, is changing this to this. Okay, that's very important here. Okay, so in my first step, I'm going to leave the left side alone, and I'm going to leave the e to the 3x alone. Okay, I've just rewritten that fraction as a power of e. Okay, all right, now we're continuing. Okay, all the bases are the same. Okay, I've got base e, base e, base e. Okay, so we're getting there. Okay, you're ultimately going to equate the exponents, but you cannot do that until you have 1 power of e equal to 1 power of e. The problem here is that on the right, you have 2 different powers of e. We need to put them together. We need to make 1 power of e. Okay, so on the left, nothing changes. On the right, we have e to the 3x times e to the -2. We need to combine those guys into 1 power of e. Okay, we have a power of e times a power of e. Okay, that is when you add the exponents. Okay, if the exponents are not side by side, because you have this e that's in green blocking them. Okay, if the exponents are side by side, that's when you multiply. Since they're not side by side, that's when you add. So we're going to have 3x plus a negative 2. Okay, so now simplify your exponents. You're going to have e to the x squared is equal to e to the 3x minus 2. Okay, now you have 1 power of e is equal to 1 power of e. Now it's okay to equate the exponents. Okay, so we're going to have x squared is equal to 3x minus 2. We are no longer exponential. The x is out of the power. Okay, this is quadratic. The highest power of x in the whole thing is 2. Okay, so we need to move the 3x over, and we need to move the 2 over. Okay, always move things so that the x squared stays positive. It makes your life easier. So we're going to get x squared minus 3x plus 2 is equal to 0. Okay, so again, you've got to either factor or use the quadratic formula to solve this. Okay, this should factor easily. Okay, so x squared will break down into x times x. And then let's see here, we need two numbers that multiply to be positive 2 and add up to negative 3. Okay, I think that's going to be, let's see here, I'm out of room. That's going to be negative 2 and negative 1. Okay, if you multiply those guys together, negative 2 times negative 1, that's positive 2. If you add them, negative 2 plus negative 1, that's negative 3. So this should factor into x minus 2, x minus 1. Okay, again, you can check yourself by FOILing this out. We'll get x squared minus x minus 2x. And then negative 2 times negative 1 is positive 1. This is going to be, if you combine like terms, x squared minus 3x plus, this should have been negative 2 times negative 1. That should be plus 2. And then you'll get your plus 2 here. Okay, so we are correct. Okay, now we need to take each factor. Okay, we have two factors, the x minus 2 and the x minus 1. Set them equal to 0 and solve. Okay, so we got x minus 2 is equal to 0. X minus 1 is equal to 0. I'm going to move the 2 over. So x equals 2 is a solution. Move the 1 over. X equals 1 is the second solution here. Okay, so you get two solutions. And remember, if you have time, check yourself. Take both of these, plug them into the original equation, and make sure you get a true statement. Done.